Hello, and a warm welcome back to all our philosophical explorers on the AI Stoic. Today's episode promises to be a fascinating one as we venture into a realm rarely discussed in open forums, the intriguing and often misunderstood intersection of sexuality and Stoicism. Have you ever found yourself pondering how a philosophy that emphasizes self-control and rational living deals with something as instinctual and passionate as human sexuality? It's a question that stirs curiosity, isn't it? And that's exactly what we're here to explore. Before we dive in, let's set the stage for this journey. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy born in the heart of Greece, is renowned for its teachings on virtue, resilience, and the importance of living in harmony with nature. But wait, doesn't living in harmony with nature include our natural instincts and desires, like those surrounding sexuality? Absolutely. And that's where the intrigue deepens. Now you might be thinking, but isn't Stoicism all about suppressing emotions and desires? This is a common misconception, and today we're going to debunk it. We'll uncover how Stoicism actually navigates the complex waters of sexuality, balancing our primal urges with wisdom and virtue. The Stoic perspective on sexuality. First things first, let's set the stage. Stoicism, a philosophy dating back to ancient Greece, is often associated with self-control and emotional resilience. But what about love, passion, and sexual desire? The Stoics didn't shy away from these topics. They believed in living according to nature, and guess what? Sexuality is a natural part of being human. But here's the twist. It's not just about physical pleasure. For the Stoics, sexuality was intertwined with virtues like respect, consent, and emotional maturity. Intrigued? Let's dig deeper. Let's explore further into the Stoic view on sexuality. The Stoics, particularly figures like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius, viewed sexual relations as something that should align with nature and reason. But what does this really mean? It's not about suppressing your desires, but rather understanding and directing them in a way that enhances your life and relationships. For the Stoics, the key was moderation and intention. They believed in engaging in sexual activities that fostered connection and intimacy, rather than just seeking physical pleasure for its own sake. Here's where it gets really interesting. Stoicism teaches us to focus on the quality of our relationships and the intentions behind our actions. So when it comes to sexuality, it's not just about the act itself, but the connection, respect, and mutual understanding between partners. This perspective encourages us to think deeply about our motivations and the impact of our choices, not just in our sexual relationships, but in all aspects of life. And what about love? The Stoics didn't see love and passion as opposing reason. Instead, they saw them as powerful forces that, when guided by wisdom and virtue, could lead to profound and meaningful connections. So in a Stoic sense, sexuality isn't just a physical experience. It's an emotional and spiritual journey that demands mindfulness and self-awareness. Now, I want to hear from you. How does this Stoic perspective on sexuality resonate with your views? Do you think there's merit in approaching our desires with intention and moderation? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's start a dialogue. The misconceptions and taboos. Now let's address the elephant in the room. There's a common misconception that Stoicism calls for a complete rejection of sexual desires. But is that really the case? Imagine a world where we suppress one of our most basic human instincts. Doesn't sound very natural, does it? The Stoics actually advocated for a balanced approach to sexuality, one that harmonizes our desires with our rational mind. So, where did these misconceptions come from? Let's explore that together. As we dive deeper into the Stoic approach to sexuality and dispel the myths, it's crucial to understand the context in which Stoicism evolved. Ancient Stoic philosophers lived in a world very different from ours, yet they grappled with many of the same questions we do today. The misconceptions around Stoicism and sexuality often stem from a surface-level interpretation of their teachings. Some might read Marcus Aurelius or Epictetus and conclude that Stoicism calls for a life devoid of pleasure. But that's a misreading of their work. The Stoics didn't preach abstinence, they preached awareness, and purpose in all actions, including sexual ones. They saw the danger in becoming slaves to our desires, losing our rational control and harming ourselves and others in the process. The real dark secret here isn't that Stoicism forbids sexual pleasure, but that it challenges us to engage with our sexuality in a way that's ethical, respectful, and in harmony with our rational nature. But why is this considered a dark secret? Perhaps because it forces us to confront the parts of ourselves that we might not be comfortable with. It asks us to look beyond immediate gratification and consider the broader implications of our desires. This can be a difficult pill to swallow in a world that often glorifies the pursuit of pleasure without consequence. Now think about this. How often do we consider the ethical dimensions of our sexual choices? Are we mindful of the impact our actions have on ourselves and others? Stoicism invites us to engage with these questions, not to dampen our experiences, but to enrich them. So, I'm curious, what are your thoughts on this Stoic approach to sexuality? Do you find it restrictive or liberating? Let's continue the conversation in the comments. The role of emotions and relationships in Stoic sexuality. Let's delve deeper into a crucial aspect often overlooked when discussing Stoicism and sexuality, the role of emotions and relationships. Stoicism, contrary to popular belief, does not advocate for the suppression of emotions, but rather for their understanding and proper management. This has profound implications when we apply it to our sexuality and romantic relationships. Stoic philosophy teaches us to embrace our emotions with wisdom and discernment. In the context of sexuality, this means recognizing and respecting the powerful emotions that accompany physical intimacy: love, passion, desire. These aren't just mere sensations to be indulged or suppressed indiscriminately. Instead, they are aspects of our human experience that, when approached with Stoic mindfulness, can lead to deeper, more meaningful connections. Imagine a relationship where physical intimacy is not just a quest for personal gratification, but a mutual exchange of respect, care, and understanding. The Stoics believe that our sexual relationships should reflect the highest virtues of our character: kindness, honesty, and integrity. This view encourages us to consider not only our own needs and desires, but also the well-being and dignity of our partners. Furthermore, Stoicism challenges us to think about the transient nature of physical pleasure. While acknowledging the naturalness of sexual desire, Stoics urge us to find a balance between indulging in these desires and attaching our happiness and self-worth to them. This approach fosters a form of resilience where our emotional well-being isn't overly dependent on external factors, including our sexual experiences. Now, let's take a moment to reflect. How does this Stoic view of emotions and relationships affect your understanding of sexuality? Do you see ways in which this perspective could enrich your personal relationships and emotional life? As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Let's use this space to share and grow together. The importance of self-awareness and personal growth in Stoic sexuality. In this next part of our exploration, let's turn inward and examine the importance of self-awareness and personal growth in the Stoic approach to sexuality. Stoicism is not just a philosophy for external interactions. It deeply values the inner journey of the individual. When it comes to sexuality, this internal focus offers a unique and enriching perspective. In Stoicism, self-awareness is paramount. It's about knowing yourself, your desires, and your motivations. This introspection is crucial when navigating the complex world of sexuality. The Stoics urge us to ask ourselves, why do I seek this sexual experience? What am I hoping to gain from it? Am I pursuing pleasure for its own sake? Or is there a deeper emotional or spiritual connection at play? These questions aren't meant to discourage sexual activity, but to encourage a thoughtful and conscious engagement with it. Personal growth is another key aspect. Stoicism teaches that every aspect of life, including our sexuality, is an opportunity for self-improvement. It encourages us to learn from our experiences, to grow in emotional intelligence, and to develop virtues like patience, empathy, and understanding within our sexual relationships. This growth isn't just about bettering our sexual experiences, it's about evolving as a complete, well-rounded individual. But what does this look like in practice? It might mean taking the time to really communicate with your partner, to understand their needs and desires, as well as your own. It could involve reflecting on past relationships and experiences, learning from them, and applying those lessons to future encounters. Most importantly, it's about continuously striving to align your sexual life with your ethical values and personal principles. So I invite you to consider, how does the idea of self-awareness and personal growth influence your approach to sexuality? In what ways can you use these Stoic principles to enhance not only your sexual experiences, but also your journey towards becoming the best version of yourself? Share your insights and personal stories in the comments below. Let's inspire each other to grow and thrive. As we near the end of our enlightening journey through the Stoic perspective on sexuality, it's time to reflect on the insights we've gathered. Today, we've peeled back layers of misconceptions and discovered that Stoicism, a philosophy grounded in wisdom and virtue, offers a nuanced and profound approach to one of life's most natural aspects, sexuality. Stoicism teaches us that sexuality, when approached with mindfulness and ethical consideration, isn't just a source of physical pleasure. It's an opportunity for personal growth and deep connection. It's about integrating our desires with our values, ensuring that our actions align not just with what feels good, but also with what is good. This Stoic view invites us to consider how we can be both passionate and thoughtful, how our sexual choices can reflect not just our desires, but also our respect for ourselves and our partners. But what does this mean for us in today's world? It means taking a moment to pause and think about the intentions behind our actions. It means striving for relationships where physical intimacy is built on a foundation of mutual respect and genuine connection. And most importantly, it means recognizing that our sexuality is a significant part of our journey towards living a virtuous and fulfilling life. So as we conclude, I encourage you to ponder these questions. How can the Stoic approach to sexuality influence your relationships and choices? How can it help you find a balance between desire and virtue? Share your insights and reflections in the comments below. Your perspectives are what make this community so vibrant and insightful. And with that, we wrap up another thought-provoking episode here on the AI Stoic. If this discussion has sparked something in you, if it's made you think or question, then don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more. Share this video with someone who might find it intriguing. Until next time, keep challenging your perceptions, keep seeking wisdom, and remember, the journey of understanding is as important as the destination. Farewell, fellow seekers of wisdom.